What's up everybody, welcome back to Retro Gaming Challenges. My name is Keith and today we're shifting gears to look at a gem from the PlayStation 3 digital library. We're talking about 2012's Bang Bang Racing, a game developed by Digital Reality and Playbox that made a bold attempt to revive a classic 16-bit genre, the top-down fixed camera racing. This is reminiscent of titles such as Micro Machines and Super Skid Marks. The PS3 era was dominated by cinematic, high-fidelity games like Uncharted and sim races like Gran Turismo. But for those craving the simple, twitchy fun of an arcade-style racing, a small wave of downloadable titles emerged, and Bang Bang Racing was one of the most colourful contenders. It traded weapons and chaos for pure skilled cornering and track mastery. But was this simple aesthetic enough to stand out in a hyper-realistic landscape of the 7th gen? Did it manage to capture the magic of its retro predecessors, or did it end up just being bland racing, as some critics suggested? We're going to deep dive into 4 distinct car classes, the 9 tracked variations, and the central unique mechanic that separates this game from its competitions. That is the use of track hazards as tactical weapons. Let's buckle up and find out if this PSN title is worth adding to your racing collection or not. Bang Bang Racing was released on the PlayStation Network in June 2012. It wasn't a $60 box retail release, it was a compact $10 downloadable title, which immediately set expectations for scope and polish. The developers made a conscious decision to omit weapon power-ups, and this is crucial. In an era where every arcade mixer tried to be the next Mario Kart or Twisted Metal, Bang Bang Racing put its foot down and said, "This is all about pure drive and skill. There are no infuriating last-second missile attacks, no blue shells. Your position depends entirely on your ability to hold the line, the use of boost and drift." This immediately applied to a very small niche audience that were hungry for skill-based arcade racing, something that I love. The fixed top-down perspective is key to this genre, but Bang Bang Racing introduced an odd design choice, a rotating chase camera. Instead of being perfectly fixed, this camera slightly follows and swings behind your car with a slight delay. So for new players, this can be very nauseating and disorientating. A slight lag means your visual perspective is constantly shifting, making tight cornering feel wildly unpredictable. Some may like it, some may not. Once mastered, players find the controls and physics are quite predictable and spot on, according to some of the reviews. However, the requirement to adapt to a swingman's camera added an unnecessary layer of difficulty to the game that was supposed to be simple and accessible. Thankfully though, there is a more traditional fixed camera option to stabilize the view in the settings. A novel addition for this genre is the concept of car health and a pit lane. When you are hitting walls or opponents too hard, it causes visible damage, visible as the smoke behind belches from your exhaust. If you take too much damage, your car is crippled and it drastically slows your speed down, so you need to go on to the pit lane. To repair the damage, like I said, and replenish your boost meter, you must drive through the pit lane, which is usually situated near the finish line. This forces a tactical decision. Do you risk driving damage to maintain position, or do you take the slow pit lane detour to recover health and get a fresh boost? This mechanic adds a layer of depth and encourages conservative, precise driving rather than mindless bumping. The core longevity of Bang Bang Racing relies on its track variations and the diversity of its cars. The game features 20 unique vehicles spread across 4 different distinct classes. Progressing through the career mode requires you to master all 4 of these classes. We have the Enduro class, which is the entry-level class. The cars are slow, stable, and have strong grip. They are easy to drive and the nitro boost is effective. This is perfect for beginners to learn the tracks. Then you have the Evo GT class, which features high acceleration race cars built for speed, but they do slip easily when driving. Mastering this class means learning to drift effectively, making them ideal candidates for spectacular races. The Protect class is designed for high top speed and stability, requiring a balance of speed and precision. They are fast but demand more skill input than the Enduro. And lastly, we have the Apex class, the fastest, most agile and most fragile cars in the game. These require the tightest control imaginable. This is the ultimate challenge class, which is where any mistake is instantly punished. Crucially, within each cars, the 5 available cars have subtle differences in characteristics. Some steer better, often have stronger top speed, and others are more resilient to collisions. So choosing the right car for the right track becomes a tactical decision. The game features 9 distinct tracks set in exotic locations, from tropical ports to icy winter circuits and cherry blossom Japanese stages. Each of the 9 tracks can be raced forwards, backwards, and with short course variations and/or without shortcuts enabled. This transforms the game into a game which has a total of 54 unique racing routes, which is a fantastic way to maximize a small amount of core content. The shortcuts are a highlight. They are often narrow, require highly precise driving, and sometimes have some unique hazards, but mastering them can shave seconds off a lap time. Since there are no traditional weapons, the interactive elements on your track become your tactical tools. Barrels are the most common obstacles. Hitting them releases oil or water slicks. So if another racer hits the slick, they slide and slow down. So the tactic isn't for you to hit the barrels yourself, but to force the competition and hit them, opening your line for an overtake. There's also explosive barrels, and if you hit them, it inflicts severe damage on your car, forcing you in the pit lane. Again, the danger is meant to be directed at your opponents. The sand and cones, which driving through sand slows you down, and scattered cones and tyres that are left on the track disrupt your line. This focus on manipulating the environment for tactical gain is the most refreshing part of the gameplay, turning what looks like a cute, simple racer into a surprisingly deep test of nerve and course management. Despite the solid core mechanics, Bang Bang Racing was met with mixed reviews. Metascore gave it a 58, largely due to two critical issues common to the downloadable titles of the era. This is the most frequent complaint about the single-player experience. The computer controls races. They rely heavily on the rubber banding, a technique where the AI speeds up intentionally to catch up with you if you pull too far ahead, or they dramatically slow down to let you catch up if you fall too far behind. This mechanism kills the satisfaction of skillful driving. You can execute a perfect lap, use your boost brilliantly, and still have the entire pack magically glued to your bumper. Conversely, a minor error should be punishing, but the rubber banding often allows you to recover easily, so that's a good thing. While the single-player career features 4 championship stages, i.e. classes, that increase in difficulty, the AI's tendency to constantly adjust its speed means that races often feel frantic and chaotic rather than rewarding for technical skill. The true challenge ends up being consistency, not necessarily speed. For a game that clearly screams local multiplayer fun, the choice not to include online player was a massive drawback in 2012. Bang Bang Racing only offered the local 2 to 4 player local split-screen multiplayer. While this is fantastic for those who still had a couch to have co-op friends sit on and play, the lack of online modes severely limited the game's longevity and replay value, especially for a PSN title that was built along a major leaderboard concept. The core non-weapon based racing would have been perfect for a competitive online play. The tactical use of oil slicks and environmental hazards would have been fostered or genuine skill-based rivalry on global leaderboards. The mission felt like a step backwards in the PS3 generation. On the positive side, the game has a clean, pleasant visual aesthetic. The circuits are colourful, the chibi-style cars are charming, and the graphics are sharp and vibrant. This was a trend for developer digital reality. For $10, the sheer volume of content, 20 cars, 9 tracks, 4 modes, and a total 54 routes made this a very attractive package. It successfully hit its target of being a simple, fun, non-violent arcade racer for the family. But for the solo player, the repetitive career structure and the frustrating rubber banding AI meant the fun often ran out before the true depth of the car classes could be appreciated. Bang Bang Racing on the PS3 is a solid, well-intended throwback. It deserves credit for the rejection of the weaponized racing trend and focusing on technical skill, precision, and tactical hazard management. The driving is generally fun once you adjust to slightly out camera, and the car variety often offers a substantial challenge throughout the career. However, the lack of online multiplayer and persistent annoying rubber banding holds it back from being a true classic, I think. It's a fantastic local party game, but a somewhat average single-player experience. If you're looking to revisit the simple pure joy of a 16-bit top-down racing with the modern code of paint, then Bang Bang Racing delivers, but prepare for an uphill battle against an AI that simply refuses to let you win easily. Thank you for tuning into this retrospective. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, why not drop a comment below about your memories of the game and head over to another retrospective look at some of the other classic games on the channel. But until next time, see ya.